Warning, incoming game over. Warning, incoming game over.
All right, Winnipeg Jets fans, another huge victory by our home team, Winnipeg. My name is Ty Dilello, and welcome to Game Over Winnipeg's post-game show of today's game between the Jets and the Penguins. I am joined here once again by Braden Mann. Welcome, Braden, again to the show. I think you're going to be a regular guest. It appears. It appears here. Maybe if we could talk about kind of the game to start with, kind of just over your overall thoughts, and then we'll kind of get into the game recap.
Thanks for having me again, Ty. It was a very, very entertaining game. Certainly, I wasn't sure how we were feeling after the first period, 0-0. I thought the Jets played better, but 0-0. And then, boom, second period, explosion of goals. Now, in the beginning, I wasn't loving the Jets game. Pittsburgh, in the beginning of the second period, flying off the gate, got 2 goals. Wasn't looking very good. And then we obviously get the huge Kyle Connor goal with a man advantage, not a power play, but delayed power play score, and that was the TSN turning point, if you will. Then I felt like it was all Jets after that. But very, very exciting game for the fans today, and exciting game for Brian Little.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree. I think the Winnipeg Jets looked great in the first period. They were very fast, got a jump on the Penguins. They had multiple chances that could have found their way in the back of the net, but Alex Nedeljkovic kept it out. And then it seemed like the second period, the tide really turned in Pittsburgh's favor, and all of a sudden the Jets weren't playing fast. They were kind of chasing the game a little bit, and Pittsburgh, had lots of chances and scored on a couple. And it wasn't until a TV timeout where Scott Arniel was really yelling at the players, and I think telling them hopefully to get their heads in gear and motivate them, and it worked. After that, the Jets turned it around with a flurry of 3 goals in the final, third to quarter of the period to kind of swing the pendulum back in Winnipeg's favor. And in the third period, we saw the Penguins had a little bit of a push, scoring to tie the game early in the period, but then again, Winnipeg took over that firepower that we've seen kind of all season so far. Just took over the game, scored a couple goals, and Niederreiter put in the empty net, and here we are. The Jets are 5-0. The only I think we're the only team without a loss at all so far to start the season. Definitely Canada's best team at the moment, and very exciting times for Jets fans and the city of Winnipeg for sure, as it looks like our Winnipeg Jets are going to be another good hockey team this year with hopefully lots of great moments. And as you said, it was Brian Little's night or afternoon. So, and even just a little cherry on top that the Jets were able to win for him in his return to Winnipeg. Of course, he signed a one-day contract to, end his career finally here in Winnipeg. So it was great to see him and the family out. And we'll get into more Brian Little talk as we go along in the show. But very exciting for Jets fans. I think there was a lot of talk. In the offseason, the Jets weren't going to be very good. A lot of pundits and media had the Jets missing the playoffs, which I thought was a little bit absurd, seeing that the Jets, finished 4th in the regular season standings last year, albeit, a rough 5-game loss to Colorado in the first round. But yeah, Braden, how does it feel to kind of show the naysayers that, the Jets, we got a pretty good hockey team here in Winnipeg this year to start the year?
Yeah, absolutely. It's I think you and I both felt the team would be similar. I mean, we really only lost Brendan Dillon and Nate Schmidt, and although I felt Brendan Dillon was a big loss, I still knew we would be okay. I thought we would be a playoff team still, but as you were saying, lots of people didn't. They thought the Jets would be out and be unexciting, and here we are, 5-0, last undefeated team in the NHL. So that's very exciting.
Yeah, you said it. And now let's just do get some ad reads out of the way first. I think we missed one at the beginning of the show here, but it's our title sponsor is Hyperdrive Hockey, and I really can't say enough good things about them. So check out the flagship show of Game Over Network on the Game Over Network YouTube channel, Hyperdrive Hockey. They talk about all things hockey across various leagues in multiple countries. Whatever it is and wherever it is, Max, Daphne, and Kev have you covered for all of your hockey news. With a steady dose of fun and fan engagement, you can find Hyperdrive Hockey on the Game Over Network YouTube channel or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts on the Hyperdrive Hockey page at thegameovernetwork.com. And also LaRouche. Game Over Network is an independent production focused on community, inclusion, and quality people. If you're interested in supporting the Game Over Network, we have various crowdfunding options that are available. In the description of this episode, you'll find a link to our Patreon page, and we're also working on a page through LaRouche, which is a crowdfunding platform for companies originating in Quebec. For LaRouche, we're aiming to raise $15,000, and if we hit that goal, then we'll gain access to government grants that will allow us to employ more people, is the hope. I think recently, this past week, we were able to hit kind of a $15,000 milestone to help pay some of the startup costs for this company and start paying, our hosts and content creators, which is a really good step in the right direction, and it's very exciting. We have a lot of good, fellow content creators, and we got a lot of good people here at the Game Over Network who are excited about this season. So, your support's greatly appreciated. If you have any ideas for what you'd like to see as giveaways from these crowdfunding efforts, you can let us know in the comments on Twitter, Instagram, or our Discord server. And there's plenty of people here that'll be happy to, talk hockey or whatever it is that's on your mind. So, Braden, today's big feature, Brian Little. This afternoon was kind of all about him. Brian Little's a name that Winnipeg Jets fans will be very familiar with since the team came back to Winnipeg from Atlanta in 2011. Little was a top first-line player, second-line player for much of his tenure here. Was a team leader in points. Quite often, he was always around the top. I guess, what were your kind of thoughts about Brian Little as a player? Obviously, we were a fan of him when the Jets were first back, and I guess what did Brian Little and the impact of him and the players around him kind of mean to you?
Yeah, love Brian Little. Very underrated center his whole career, I would say, and I think no Jets fan forgets the lad Little Wheeler line that was unbelievable in our first couple of years back. And you know what? Like, we all know Little, the player, good player, but there's a lot of stories. He's a great person too, with all of his community work and just talking to him and everything. He was a really good person as well. It's great. I thought it was great to have him back in the building. I think it's so exciting for him to get a proper send off. I mean, we all know his actual last game was not the best, obviously. So it was nice for him to take a lap with the boys today, and it was so cute, the video before the game, and he's just with his daughter, and the daughter's pointing, and it's just it was really nice, and would have been a really nice moment for Brian Little. But I know it's Brian Little night. I'd like to see the Jets do the same thing. If we could get a Dustin Byfuglien night, a Blake Wheeler night when he retires, I think it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, I think you're bang on there. I think the Jets, I think they will. I think when players like Dustin Byfuglien are up to it, and Blake Wheeler as well when he retires and stuff, I think these guys will be welcomed, with open arms by the Jets organization. And I could see a couple of them, maybe getting involved somewhere. That maybe the Jets will hire them, player development, scouting, coaching. I think there's a lot of opportunities for some of these former players that had a lasting career, a lasting effect on the community here in Winnipeg to, continue to make an impact. So I guess we'll see what kind of comes from that in the coming years. And Brian Little, I remember him kind of right away with the, lad Little Wheeler first line we had in Winnipeg for the first couple of years. He was always very durable. He played the game the right way. He was pretty healthy until towards the end of his career. He was kind of a constant figure in the lineup. You could always kind of count on him for, 50, 60 points a season at minimum. towards the end of his career, I know things kind of went south a little bit. Just his play maybe dipped a little bit due to age, got maybe slowed down a little bit. I remember in the 2018 Jets playoff run, he was actually our team was so deep that a player as good as Brian Little kind of became our fourth line center and played bottom six role and still did it effectively.
Yeah.
And that 2018 team is still very missed to this day. And then of course the injury, the career-ending injury that he had in a game early in the, I believe, 2019-20 season. I think it was a slap shot from Nick Ehlers that kind of hit him up high, and he just was never able to kind of come back from that. In worries of endangering his quality of life after hockey. So, I know it was a very unfortunate way for his career to kind of end like that. But having him back today, having his family back, it was very touching. It was a very nice gesture from the Jets organization. It was great that Sidney Crosby and Little exchanged some words at the puck drop at the beginning of the game. So I think Jets fans and Brian Little and his family are going to look back on this day as a very memorable one, and maybe some closure for his the end of his career in Winnipeg, and then now he's in kind of this post hockey life as a father. I think he said a chauffeur to his kids. That's great. So we wish Brian Little nothing but the best in life, and thank you, Brian Little, for entertaining us for about 10 years as Jets fans. You're missed, and you helped make the Jets into the team they are today. So we thank you. Anything else, Braden, you want to say about Little before we move on?
Yeah, I thought your point about Crosby there, like, I think for his daughter one day is that, I mean, they have to frame that photo. She's going to look on the wall and see that photo of Little, and like she's in the photo, the mom and Crosby. It's like, that was an unreal night to have Crosby as the other centerman for that ceremonial puck drop. I mean, one of the best players of our generation, if not top 5 in the NHL of all time. So, yeah, just an amazing night. I hope, or afternoon, sorry. And I hope we do see Little a lot more in Winnipeg. I'm sure he knows he's invited to come whenever he likes. And it was great to see him.
Yeah, I think Brian Little I think he'll be back. It sounded like he was back, just a few weeks ago for a wedding. I think he's got a lot of friends and family here, and I think he's still close with a lot of the Jets, as players like Scheifele and Ehlers are still here. Lowry that spent a lot of years here, in Winnipeg with him. So I don't think it'll be the last time that we see Brian Little by any means. Before we go to the next period, let's just do another quick ad hit. Do you like multiple teams or just want to hate watch your rivals? Well, we got you covered, as you can check out the rest of the Canadian Game Over markets, as we have each Canadian NHL city covered. All of the channels are linked on the main Game Over Winnipeg YouTube channel and on the Game Over Network channel as well. I believe the Jets, are we the only Canadian team today? I believe so. But tomorrow I'm sure there'll be more Canadian team content. We have a lot of, actually all the hosts here are great, very knowledgeable, very kind, and they make for great entertaining post-game shows. So check them out. They're a hit. And also, we got merch. Yes, Braden, only Toronto plays tomorrow. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. So yeah, you can find Toronto's post-game after the game. Merch, sorry. Braden checked it out the other day. Braden liked what he saw from the merch. I think he was going to pick up some Jet stuff himself. So we got that on the screen right now. What better way to support something you love than by rocking it as clothing? So, if you're enjoying Game Over and kind of what we're doing over here on this network, the Game Over's apparel line has dropped with 3 unique designs. So whether you feel the nostalgic pull of our retro skater design, want to make a statement with our established design, which is currently on sale, or want to wear your love for goalies proudly with our Live and Die by the Goalie design. That kind of rhymes. Or if you need another coffee to get through the winter, we have you covered. So designed by Brady Chalice, who is a Game Over Winnipeg member. You can use the QR code that's on the screen now. and kind of take a look through our apparel store and help us rebuild local sports media in Canada while repping our Game Over community. Any help and just by purchasing some merch is greatly appreciated, and we thank you for your support. Braden, were you checking out the merch the other day? What did you kind of think of the designs, and what are something you might be able to? What can you see yourself wearing? Maybe out in public or to a Jets game.
Yeah, I did. I checked out the Game Over merch. Yeah, I loved it. I love that goalie that you have on the screen right now, and they had another shirt with another logo that I really liked as well. I'm hoping I'll get one. I don't know if I'll have to buy it myself or maybe receive one from someone, but I definitely see myself rocking some of this apparel by the end of the year.
Well, you do have a birthday coming up. You do have a birthday coming up on November 12th, I believe. So, if I don't get you, Jets tickets, which you might prefer, I don't know. There might be some Game Over merch gift wrap for you. And if not, then Christmas is also around the corner. So, I'm probably gonna pick up some apparel. Just to, I like the designs. And yeah, I'm sure Brain will get some as well. As we move here into the final, last little bit in our show, I thought maybe we'd talk about Rutger McGroarty a little bit. That was kind of a hot topic coming into this afternoon's game, which was kind of extinguished when the Penguins sent Rutger McGroarty down to the AHL prior to the weekend. That still didn't stop Jets fans today, as they were in the third period when the Jets were getting their goals going. There were chants of, where's Rutger? We want Rutger. Yager is better. Of course, Braden Yager, who was acquired in that trade with Pittsburgh. There were a lot of Jets fans were trying to make the most of it. Maybe they'd bought tickets, to get ready for Rutger to come to town. So it was a little bit too bad. But Braden, what did you kind of think of the Rutger madness there in the third period?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun for the fans. I think he's just a kid, obviously. He didn't want to play here, so be it. It happens. It's happening a lot more frequently now with him and Cutter, Go Chase. So and I'm over it. I'm happy, really happy with the player we got in Braden Yager. Just this year, Rutger in 3 games with the Penguins and 2 games in the AHL is 0 points, -2, and Braden Yager, who is in the WHL, in 7 games has 7 goals and 6 assists. So I was happy with the trade, but I'm kind of over it with the whole Rutger thing. It's time to move on, and I'm really happy with Braden Yager.
Yeah, I agree. I think Jets fans are a little, this has kind of happened before to us. I think we're kind of sick of these situations, because, we're in Winnipeg, such a great city. I wish some young players would think so. I think the guys that we do have that are young, like Braden Yager, Brad Lambert, Salamonson, Chibrikov, etc., they appreciate, Winnipeg for what it is and the opportunities for their careers that lie ahead. So, I think that it's probably time to kind of bury the whole Rutger lead and just let him flounder in Pittsburgh. if he turns out to be a good player or not, I could really care less. I think Braden Yager is going to be an excellent hockey player for the Jets, which is exciting. So Braden, any kind of closing remarks about the game? Next game, I believe, on Tuesday. I guess how far can the Jets take this unbeaten streak? Can we keep going for a little bit? I know it's going to be a busy next couple of weeks for the Jets. I believe they play every other night for the next 2 weeks, so there's not going to be a lot of practice time. There's not going to be a lot of time to rest and recover, but maybe the Jets want that right now. I don't think they like the 4-day break too much. I think they want to try to bank as many wins as they can to kind of start the year, kind of build up a lead. Right now they're 10 points ahead of the Nashville Predators, which is, huge. Nashville was a team that was supposed to kind of topple the Jets this year with the free agent acquisitions they had. And 10 points, a 10-point margin isn't going to be easy to recover from, despite it being only so early in the season. So I guess, Braden, what are you looking forward to, and how far can we take this thing?
Yeah, our next game is against St. Louis, and they're 4-2 right now. So I think they're a good team. It'll be a good match, and I look forward to it. I'm not sure who's going to win, but as long as the Jets play well, I think we've got a shot in any game. And some closing remarks. The Jets obviously starting off amazingly this year, 5-0. But hate to be Mr. Negative here.
No.
The last few years, the Jets always start off incredible. I mean, their first 41 games, first half, we're usually top of the league, and then we fall off a cliff towards the last half. So it's good if we are going to keep up with that trend. We really want to get a lot of wins in the first half, and then just keep going. I obviously hope we don't fall off a cliff in the second half, but that is the way it's been for the Jets for lots of prior years. And then just one thought quickly, I'll ask you a question because you always ask me questions. We had Comrie, Stanley, and Gustafsson play tonight, first game of the year.
Yep.
What were your thoughts on their games?
So Braden's kind of acting as the chat, today because we got nothing, we got nothing going in the chat this game. So yeah,
That's early.
yeah,
It's early.
Eric Comrie, was kind of what we thought he was going to be. I think is the best way to put it. I didn't expect him to stand on his head, and I didn't expect him to kind of hand the game over to Pittsburgh either. I didn't love the third goal. I think that he made a lot of saves too, to kind of maybe keep the Jets in it a little bit in the second period when things were kind of getting away from the team. And he made, I think, 36, 37 saves in the night. So, I'm not the biggest Eric Comrie fan. I think he's a bit of a dollar store UC Saros. In fact, he's a smaller goaltender that has to really, rely on his athleticism to make saves. It was a good start. It was a good first game for him. I think the Jets are going to try to give him a couple more starts, maybe one or two in these next, 8 to 10 game stretch where the Jets are playing a lot to give, rest Helly a little bit. So no real complaints about his game tonight. Logan Stanley was kind of in on the mix a little bit. He brings a little bit of difference, to the team's back end. He's 6'7". That has to be said 100 times by Jets fans and stuff. He was doing some good things. He was also doing some bad things on the ice. So I don't know. He had an assist, I know, in the game. I think maybe we'll give. I don't know how long if Logan Stanley's leash is for this 6D spot. He certainly has it, I believe, if he wants until Billy Hinola gets back. But I'd also like to see Dylan Coughlin get a game, as I don't think Fleury or Stanley have done really anything special to kind of solidify that 6D role. And but for Stanley's first game, I think there were positives there, and I think he's coming back from an injury. So hopefully he'll get things going, because he can be a difference maker. He's a big physical presence, and also David Gustafsson. I don't know. He had one kind of chance. I thought he had one kind of play. He was pretty quiet otherwise, which may not be a bad thing. But we know what David Gustafsson is. Like, he doesn't bring much specialness to the game. He doesn't bring anything too unique. He's just kind of a steady fourth centerman that doesn't screw up too much. I think that Rasmus Kupari's shown a little bit more so far this season. And I think that Kupari is going to kind of get back in the lineup on Tuesday. And we'll see. I think it's kind of smart of Arneal to try to rotate these guys in. You don't want them sitting for too long. And I can see why he played these three today. So, let's see what the lineup looks like on Tuesday and even Thursday against Seattle. And let's kind of see how much rope that Arneal's kind of going to give some of these guys. And what about you, Braden? What did you see from the trio of first-time Jets this season?
Yeah, I'll be a lot more positive than you were there. I don't think you said a single positive thing about the three, but I liked Eric Comrie's game. I understand he's not Hellebuck. That's expected. I thought, just like you, I didn't love the third goal, but I thought he was really solid. I think Kelly also lets in the first two. I thought he was solid, though. Gustafsson, I will agree. I didn't, it's his first game. Didn't love his game. He didn't play that much, but
You're saying what I said.
But yeah, no, I know.
No, it's
But
true. It's
that's
just
what happens. But
you can be
Logan
positive.
Stanley, I thought Logan Stanley was good as well. Yeah, I don't know. I'll say I got too positive. I thought Logan Stanley was good, and can't forget he's 6'7". And I thought Eric Comrie was
Not
good,
forget
and I'd
this.
like to see Kupari back in.
Yes, so we basically said the same thing. So I thought we were both a little bit positive, but just kind of honest with what we saw. And yeah, Logan Stanley is 6'7". Everybody out there, if you're watching on the podcast or just Logan Stanley 6'7", he'd be a great 670 on your team. If you got a 5th round pick or a 6th round pick, we'd love to have it. If that's good with you, Braden, I think we're kind of good to wrap up. Is there anything in the chat? No.
I'm checking. I don't see anything. I got a private message saying, "What are our score predictions for the next game?"
Did you actually get a private message?
I did.
Very exciting. Okay. Score predictions for the next game against St. Louis. In St. Louis, I think the Jets, I'm going to say 4-3 win. 4-3 win. I think Pavel Buchnevich has a little 1+1 night, which would be great for one of my fantasy hockey teams. I think St. Louis is having a pretty good start to the year, so we're kind of like Pittsburgh. It's not going to be an easy game by any stretch, but I think the Jets ultimately do get the win, but could also see it going the other way as well. St. Louis has played the Jets tough in the past. They eliminated the Jets, a few years ago in the playoffs, which kind of hurt in 2019. So I'm going to say 4-3 Winnipeg. Booch with the goal and an assist, Scheifele with 1, Kyle Connor with 1, and Rasmus Kupari with the goal. Is this Rasmus Kupari season? I don't know, but I like to think so. What do you think, Brayden?
I would love the Rasmus Kupari season for sure. I think the Jets will win as well. I'll go 3-2. Get back to the lower scoring. I know there's been some higher scoring games the beginning of the season, but I think we'll get back to some lower scoring games against the division rival. I also think St. Louis is a great team. I don't know if the beginning of the year I thought they were getting into the playoffs, but watching them start off, they look like a very dangerous team. So yeah, I'll do 3-2 Jets, and for goals, I'll say Velarde finally gets one. Kind of crazy that he doesn't have one already. My boy Cole Perfetti will get one, and we'll keep the train rolling. Appleton has been red hot to start the year. I'll say Appleton gets the game-winning goal. Book it.
Yeah, that's those are some takes. So we look forward to being back. We'll be back here on Tuesday night, following a 7:00 Central road game against the St. Louis Blues, where the Jets will hope to make it 6 straight wins to kick off the season. Wouldn't that be something? So you can join myself and likely Braden again here about 5 minutes after the game ends here on the Winnipeg Game Over YouTube page. We hope to see you there. So now Braden and myself, we're actually gonna go head out to a family dinner, which should be a pleasant time. The Jets won, life's good. So thank you everybody, and we will see you on Tuesday. That's it for us. Take care, everybody.